everyone, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to share with you some tips and give you some advice on what you can do when you hit a weight loss plateau. So we all know that when you're trying to lose weight, you're on your weight loss journey, there's always going to be sort of ups and downs. And this is really common and it happens to everyone. You know, you're going to be losing weight and then maybe sometimes it's going to stop and you're not really going to see much movement, and then it'll start moving again, and it sort of goes up and down most of the time. And I know that this is really frustrating, but a lot of people ask me, or especially my clients as well, they say, okay Anna, what do I do when I hit a plateau, or when I see that things are not really moving in the way I want them to? So I'm going to share with you today my sort of top tips and give you some advice on how you can approach this situation. So the first thing is, you want to ask yourself actually how consistent you're being. So this is looking at your week, your whole week. You want to sort of analyze your week and really see how you really are doing, because sometimes we're very busy and we think we're eating healthy, but maybe we've grabbed something here, or maybe we've overeaten that evening, or maybe we didn't do any exercise, and so we're not really paying attention to really how it is actually going. And sometimes we think we're being consistent, but we're actually not. So an example of this would be, okay, but like 5 days of the week I'm eating really healthy, and then 2 days I'm just, I'm not really sticking to a normal schedule. I'm eating out a lot, I'm eating a lot of snacks, and everything sort of goes out the window. This is what I see with most people, like the 5 days are really good, there's good structure, lots of healthy food during the week, but then when we get to the weekend, that's where it gets a little bit difficult and people just sort of go completely off track. So when you're not consistent across the whole board, you're not going to see results. You're going to hit a plateau and things will not move in the way you want them to. Now, does that mean that you have to eat healthy all the time? Definitely not. Like I know with my clients, they can still get very consistent results by eating, say, one unhealthy meal a week, or enjoying an ice cream whenever that is. Like, you don't have to eat perfect all the time, but there still has to be some consistency there. Okay, so ask yourself, are you actually really being as consistent as you think you are? Are you overeating at certain periods? Are you getting exercise in? Are you eating your 3 meals per day? Just sort of have a look at your week, and then when you sort of see it yourself, you probably will be able to identify some areas where you could probably tighten up a little bit. Okay, so look for consistency. That's my first thing. And a lot of the time, like for example, my clients, they will ask me, can we reduce my calories? And this is something I don't do. I don't, because we can just keep bringing down your calories and your calories and your calories, and then this is going to be impacting your metabolism. And what do we just keep on bringing your calories down? Every time we hit a plateau, we keep bringing it down. And I don't believe that that's actually the way to go, because then the next thing, you're living off 800 calories, and that's actually not healthy. So if at the moment you're not on a calorie control diet, or you may well need to drop your calories slightly. You don't need to do it hugely. But if you're somebody that's already on a weight loss plan and a calorie control plan, to be honest, like, dropping your calories is definitely not always the answer. And if you're working with a nutritionist or a dietitian, they probably will be very reluctant to actually do that. What they will probably more want to do with you is sort of switch things around a little bit and give you some different advice into how you can sort of see some results. But don't always think, okay, I'm going to reduce my calories, because in the end, you're going to be surviving off very minimal food, which is not going to be good for your energy. This is also not going to be good for your weight loss. It's going to put more stress on your metabolism. And it's definitely not going to work. Reducing calories all the time is not going to work. You definitely need to be in a calorie deficit for weight loss to happen, but that doesn't mean that you keep pulling it and pulling it and pulling it down. Okay, so that's not the answer. Let's see, the next one is regarding making simple switches actually. So as I said, rather than pulling the calories down all the time, how about we do some simple switches? So for example, if you're eating cereal in the morning for your breakfast, why don't you switch that with something that's a little bit more high protein and low carbohydrates? So you could go for an omelette or have some poached eggs or scrambled eggs. Go for something like this, or you could try some Greek yogurt and berries, something that's a little bit more lighter, something that it has a higher protein content. So sometimes making these different switches throughout the day can actually help you see progress, okay? So try and investigate that as well. And then my last tip is, if you're not doing exercise, then you should try and introduce it into your lifestyle. Now that doesn't mean, you know, go from doing no exercise to trying to do 5 workouts in 1 week. You know, you want to start it slow and build it up. But exercise will help, you know, sort of speed on the process. You know, you can definitely lose weight just by looking at the food you're consuming. But if you put food and exercise together, of course, you're going to see better results. So you could introduce some sort of fat burning exercises. You know, the high intensity exercises are really great for losing weight and burning fat. And they're short in time. You know, you can do a high intensity workout in around 20 minutes, and that's your workout done for the day. And it's a great way to burn fat. So I would look at your exercise and see if you are doing exercise, or look at what kind of exercise you're doing, and maybe try and switch that up as well to see if that helps, okay? So they're my tips. That's some advice that I wanted to share with you today, because I know we always hit plateaus and there's always going to be ups and downs, but there is different things that you can do to help sort of get you to see progress again, because I know it can be frustrating, but do just sort of look at your consistency. Don't always think that dropping calories is always going to be the answer. You know, make some simple switches, and of course look at your exercise. So if you have any questions, let me know. I would love to hear if this video is helpful for you, and I will see you soon in another video.